Brilliant. Okay. Okay, good evening all. Thank you for attending tonight. I appreciate we're eating into your Sunday evenings and your family time, so we won't keep you too long. We will just run through a presentation of the plans for Hartpury 23-24 season. I will get the slideshow up and share my screen with you. Okay, can we all see that on the screen? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, let's get that off there. Okay, guys, good evening. I'll introduce myself for those that I haven't met yet. I'm Andy Bevan. I'm the FDM, the Football Development Manager for the Cheltenham sites for Hereford and Hartpury, and obviously our Cheltenham site in Cheltenham. Tim Bell on their screen is our academy manager. He oversees it all. I report to Tim after overseeing all this. And then obviously all of you know Luke, who is the satellite manager at Hartpury, but also he is our lead YDP and FDP overseeing the Cheltenham Development Centre as well. What we're going to deliver tonight will be a short presentation, probably be about 20 minutes of your time. If you've got some questions afterwards, great. And if not, which normally people don't like to ask, which is absolutely fine. Feel free to ask afterwards, have a dwell on it, have a think about it. But hopefully we'll answer a lot about what is going to happen next season, etc. as we go. Luke will present the next part of the presentation because it's all about the philosophy, the playing style, and what we're going to do in the setup at Hartpury. And I will hand over to Luke. Good evening, Luke. Over to you, my friend.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Baz. Much appreciated. So just a couple of little reminders in terms of what we look for. These are our core values. Do forgive me, my video is a bit weird and I don't know why it goes off. So if I do go off, I do apologize, but you can still hear my beautiful voice. So these are just our core values. These are just the priorities that we expect when you're a Cheltenham Town player. These are the 6 fundamentals. Which will be sent. We will be sending this over to you. Beth will send all those slides over to you in due course anyway. But anyone who's a part of Cheltenham Town Football Club, these are our core values. And these are the things that we expect any time when you're representing the club. All right. Cheers, Bevs. Aims for the centre. What is Hartpury? The aim is very simple: to develop players using the Cheltenham Town way of playing. We want to challenge our players technically, physically, psychologically, and tactically. We want to, okay, we're going back. Nurture players' development.
Apologies, my fault.
All right, no worries. We want to nurture players' development in a fun, safe, challenging learning environment. And we want to provide a clearer pathway to potential, not just academy football, but obviously potentially going into the development centre, which is our second tier in our pyramid. Our success stories this year, some really good, lots of them this year, from coming into our academy, into the Sign Academy for next season, being offered opportunities at other clubs such as Cardiff City, offered opportunities at development centres as well. So we're very proud of that. Obviously, a few of them are non-negotiables. So for those of you who have been at this club, who have been at Hartpury once upon a time, right at the very beginning, we have non-negotiables which we try to meet when we're hitting at Cheltenham Town, when you're playing for Cheltenham Town. So we want to compete at all times. We want to be first to the ball, attack quickly, pressure on the ball at all times, 5-second fury. So obviously, if we lose the ball, bang, it's a quick opportunity to steal the ball and go and get it back. Defend together at all times and win your 1 versus 1s. So those are your principles of play. And then it's our 3 Bs in terms of be safe, be respectful, and be ready to learn. And obviously, remember who you're representing. A little bit of a change in training format. So obviously still remains the same, 5 o'clock to 6:15. So nothing changes in terms of that. The layout is going to look a little bit different now. As you may have noticed that there are now, the under-9s will be in the first session now. The 6s and 7s will also be joining us, the under-8s and the under-9s. So now there are 3 age groups in the first hour, which is the 6s and 7s, under-8s and under-9s, plus the goalkeeping. Training format, 6:30 till 8 o'clock, slight little twist to this one again. The under-10s, under-11s and under-12s. So the change in Hartpury at this moment in time, we cater for from under 6s up to under 10s. This season will now be going from the ages of under 6 up to under 12s, which covers the whole foundation phase program for all the ages of foundation phase. Individual learning plans will be taking place, and they're going to be a little bit more player-led. So this is an example. This is Brad. Brad is one of our under 9s at the under 9 development. So as you may have noticed, he's got his positions in here. If Bev uses his cursor, as you can see where all his positions are. These are his super strengths. These are his primary super positions, his secondary positions. We've got the at my best words, which are his at my best in terms of this is what represents Brad Drew on a good day. This is what he's really good at. His super strengths are the things that he brings, what are his unique selling points, if you will. Why him? What does he do really well? And then he's got his areas of development, which is the 3 things that he's chosen to work upon, which is by us. All right. The footballers that he's chosen are Grealish and De Bruyne, so he's using those ones because he feels that those are the ones that relate to him. He feels that at my best, those are the words that relate to those pro footballers. So that's how it links back into it.
I think what is just touching on that, what is crucial and what I love about the ILPs and the way Luke has explained that is brilliant is, and well done, Brad, for letting us use yours, is the fact that you've used, and where I've come across this in the past, players have come to me when I've done it with them and they go, well, I'm not going to be Jack Grealish, I'm not going to be Kevin De Bruyne. But no, but then you're not playing against Virgil van Dijk, etc. So, you know, it's all relevant and it's where the players seem to want to get to. So I think it's great what you've touched on there, Luke. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, listen.
Can you be on mute if that's possible, please? Thank you. As we mentioned, the program will now cover the whole foundation phase program from under 6s up to under 12s, which covers the whole foundation phase.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that, Luke. So I'll just touch on this now in terms of what we're looking at doing now for the next season and the variety of changes of what we're doing. So currently, obviously, our under 9s, and sorry if I just lose track because somebody else still trying to admit at the moment. Currently, our under 9s and under 10s at Hartpury do compete in the JPL. Moving forward and as part of development, and we've had many discussions around this, Luke, myself, Tim, etc., about how we can move this forward in terms of development. So going forward, what we want is no Hartpury teams participating in the JPL. Obviously, you know, like you did Friday night, you had friendly matches. And the way we look at it is we want to work with our local grassroots clubs. Also, we want to try and give the boys the best opportunity to progress. And we feel by playing on a Friday night training and then having your grassroots match on a Saturday morning and then rushing down to JPL to play in the Saturday afternoon seems to be a lot. So what we're trying to do is how can we make this better and better process? So in terms of what Luke did Friday night in arranging the games, I think it worked actually superb in terms of the playing the local team, got something out of it, testing your boys against that, giving you then, yes, I know you still had the games on a Saturday, but so we thought also by not having the JPL games on the Saturday for the 9s and 10s, well, okay, where it was cut off with the 10s and we wanted something to try and transition, we've now gone and included the 11s. So the 10s next season will become the 11s, etc. So we've kind of taken something away in the games program, but we've given something back, whereas, you know, the cutoff point was the 10s. Well, we're now going to have an 11s next season. So suddenly when it comes to 10s previously, there wasn't nothing else unless you got into the dev side. So now that gives us that, as Luke's already touched on, that the phase next year will be the 6 to 12s, which again is something that we're delighted about, and we think it's going to be a great, exciting program to go with. So what will happen now between now and the end of the season? Okay, all players will receive an offer. Obviously, Luke will do your ILPs with you. All players will receive an emailed offers from the club. It will come in a format of an email that will be either a release, retain, and retrial sort type email. The offer will include a link for the player to accept or to decline. So obviously, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you may well turn around and say, well, actually, you know, I've enjoyed it, thank you very much, but not for me. But the reason that we're doing it in this way is that every player gets an email. It's all broken down in the email, a link around the player kit, playing purchase, the training kit, the fee payment options. It should all be explained in this email. And obviously I will send these out. I will get the information from Luke, and these will come out from myself and Luke, and we will send them across to you before the season ends. So which should cover everything that we're talking about this season. And that is about it, guys. I just do want to touch on, and you know, and I want to go back to one part of the presentation, and which Luke has put together very well, and it's this one. I look at that and, you might look at that and think, well, okay, we've got 100 odd boys and there's 7 lads on there. Trust me, that's a huge success. So when, and I've done building development centers into academy footballs for many, many years. And normally the ethos is, can you get one KPI? So that's one player, KPI, key performance indicator, would be one player signed from the development center into an academy, or from a satellite center into a development center. You've got 7. That's phenomenal. So it shows the success of what you're doing at Hartpury is working, because you've got 7. And whilst ideally we want them all at Cheltenham Town, not every one player fits one model. So, in Hereford, I know they've had players signed by other football clubs, which is great, because it means obviously we want to see him first. We've got eyes across everything, with Luke working within the academy full time, across their senior and staff coming across, myself as well. But to get 7 across, I think, is an absolutely fantastic achievement, not only by the staff, but by the players, parents, and everybody for their commitment in it, which, it has been fantastic. Yeah, anything else that you want to add, Luke, before we finalize and put it out there for any questions?
No, I think Bev's just summed it up perfectly. I think the little bit of a touch upon the thinking behind the Saturday afternoons. I just think it's also a bit of workloading as well. We have to consider the workload as well. If they train at a high intensity on a Friday evening, then they have to play in a Saturday morning. Then to go off and play in the Saturday afternoon is going to be quite a lot, and it's a lot of demands on the body. So we feel that this is more suitable, and it gives us a bit more variety when it comes to our games program.
And I think you're spot on there, Luke. And where this is important, guys, is I'll give an example. And this is, we go right through with our academy to the 16. So we will potentially going to be playing an under 18s game in about 2 weeks' time against a semi-professional club. And our under 16s academy, we're going to play them. But because they're playing on the Saturday and will have played predominantly 18s football, the workload we anticipate at the club will be too much to put them into a game on the Monday night. So it is about managing the workload. As much as we know they would play every minute of every day if they could, the boys, we have to try and manage it. And because we don't want to, the more that you do, you could weaken the quality that we put out. And, and I know how much the staff put into this. We don't want to do that. So, hence why we're doing that. There is one other thing that I do want to touch on as well. It's something that, Luke, myself and Tim have discussed. We are looking at starting a mini Robins, okay, which is for under 4s to under 6s, which predominantly will start next season. And that, again, will not be at Heartbreak. It potentially be at another site, so it won't impact on your Friday nights. That will still be the same. But again, if it could free up some of potentially our under 6s that could potentially go into that to give more space for others at the Hartpury site, again, it's just something that we're trying to evolve all the time. And, I think it's a hugely exciting time. I've loved coming back involved, especially in the role that I've got now, and working closer with Luke and getting to know a lot of the players through what we're doing. And, by bringing the mini Robins, we're trying to create everything. I just think it'll be a fantastic opportunity. So I'll put it out there to you guys. I'll give you, a couple of minutes if anyone wants to. I think, can I unmute them all at once, Luke? Is that possible?
I think the best way to do it, I think, guys, you have a option where you can raise your hand.
Okay.
If you go on the view, if we go view, if you exit the shared screen, Bevs.
Yeah. Okay. Stop share.
And if there's anyone that raises their hand or anything like that, or we'll just.
Any questions, guys?
If not, just unmute, guys. It's probably the easiest way today. Go. All silent.
Blimey, are they this quiet on a Friday, Luke?
Who, the parents or the kids?
Well, we know the parents aren't. I'll tell you what, if we put headphones on them and an Xbox controller, they'll be away then, won't they? They'll all start talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, guys. Well, what we've done is we have recorded, so hopefully it's recorded, and I will upload it, and I will share the YouTube link into the group chat to Luke, and he will share amongst you all. And obviously, you will have questions over the next couple of days, and likewise, feel free to contact Luke or myself. Hope it's been useful, the presentation tonight, to give you a bit of a guide of where we're going, because I know a lot of you have had questions, and Luke was conscious to get this out there to you as soon as possible. But if not, any other questions, anything you want to add before we close off, Luke?
No, not from me, guys. Just thank you very much once again for all your hard work. The only other things I will say is that the player reviews will be starting shortly, imminently. Predominantly, we'll be starting with the under 10s, of course, and then we'll be working our way back down into that group. So the 10s will be first, and I'll be in contact with all of them.
Brilliant. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time tonight. I do appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and have a good week ahead. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lou.